Greetings and salutations. I am Karen Russmore, and I am not lit up. There we go. Now I'm blinded. Hey. Always takes a moment for it to go. That's not the right color correction for this. Right. This is Pathfinder Kingmaker session 80. Maybe the last. Hopefully the last. Possibly not the last. It's one of them where it's like, this is sort of like one of the few times where I actually remember what I was doing last time, because it's been so pivotal in sort of like, this is the end. As I mentioned last session, basically, you know, this is the end, my only friend, the end. Don't get a reference, but welcome J-Station. So last session I went up against the Lantern King and got my arse handed to me. So there were some things that the Lantern King did where it's like, okay, I see what you're doing there, and I didn't like it. I still think that it would get the GM shivved at a table. Especially since there's no do-overs at the table. And unlike it being at a table, I actually get to do do-overs. So we're going to do-over, and we are going to try to tweak this. Did I tweet? I have the feeling I didn't tweet. I don't remember tweeting. Did I tweet? Twitter's not loading up. That's weird. Oh, that's the wrong message, that's why. So, like, why is that coming up in red? I don't think I've tweeted. Okay, there we go. I've tweeted. Right, close that back down again. And close everything down that I'm not using. Not using that. So yeah, one of the things is I went in, got my ass handed to me. I noticed some things that the Lantern King did, and so I'm going to try to avoid him from doing that this time. And for that, I need to come back to over here. I also need to go through a couple of people's spell lists before we rest up, because we are going to rest up. I mean, I've got 19 days. Time seems to be happening a bit wibbly. Yes, I'm going through the spells at least. There's nothing in the equipment that has struck me out as like, this is something I need. I could possibly do with more dinosaur bones. And more diamonds, but it's a bit late for that. I don't know if I can buy anywhere nearby. So we're just going to have to make do with the 5 dinosaur bones and 3 diamonds. God, that'd be really annoying, getting to this stage and then finding out, oh yeah, you're out of dinosaur bones, and it's like, alright, how do I get more of them right now? You can't, as far as I'm aware. So, just as a bit of a recap, essentially what happened is I went in there and the Lantern King cast a spell called All Things Come to an End. Which, yeah, there's no dinosaurs in Kingmaker. Although, spoiler alert, there is dinosaurs in Wrath of the Righteous, apparently. I found that little tidbit out earlier today. So, let's start off with the level 9s. I've got 2 mass heals. Not entirely sure the summon monster is helping. You transform your body into a living flame. You and your equipment are immune to fire damage. In fact, every time you would normally take damage from fire, you are instead healed for damage at a rate of 1 point per 3 points of damage the fire attack would have normally inflicted. You are immune to blindness, critical hits, ability score damage, disease, electricity, poison, and stunning. You have acid resistance 30. You take 150% as much damage from cold as normal. You have an enhancement bonus of 6 to your dexterity score, and your unarmed strikes deal 3d6 points of fire damage, and you are considered armed when making unarmed attacks. Fire spells you cast have their save DCs increased by 1. 5e T-Rex. Yeah, I know that 5e has zombie T-Rexes and the T-Rexes and a bunch of other dinosaurs that never really seem to make any kind of an appearance, or certainly not that I've seen. It's weird. I thought I saw a microphone out of the corner of my eye and was like, am I wearing the wrong headset? I'm not. See, I don't know if to switch this over to another mass heal. This fiery body, the fiery body could make a lot of sense, assuming it does a whole fire thing in there. But I don't know if it does. I would assume it does. I'm probably going to give that a try. I don't use many of the mass heals. Oh, that can only... Right, so that... The mass heal goes down there, and then the fiery body goes up to there. Okay. Right. I don't like the sunburst. It's only against one person. I think most people have. The summons aren't working for me. I think I get that by default when I go into combat anyway, but having the Holy Aura isn't too bad of a thing. It's probably the best out of those. See, Rift of Ruin... See, I'm not feeling the pits. The pits have been getting in the way a lot. I think another firestorm is probably 1d6 per caster level up to a maximum of 20d6. If a creature fails a reflex save, they're on fire. 4d6 per round after that, or a reflex save for half. This is 1d8 up to a maximum of 20d8 and stunned. A successful fortitude halves the damage and negates the stun effect. So the stormbolts have the potential for more damage, but less damage over time. These have the potential for damage over time. But I have a feeling that some things are going to be immune to fire. Which is a bit of a shame, because we're mainly fire-focused. Right. The creature you designated is surrounded by a glowing red aura of vengeful fate. Once per round, when the target makes an attack or casts a spell, it must succeed at a fortitude saving throw with a DC of 10 plus a half a caster's level plus wisdom, which isn't great. Well, it's okay. The target fails the saving throw. It takes see, that could be useful. Resurrection could be useful, but I'm running out of diamonds. And Greater Restoration's not really useful right now, I don't feel. I'm tempted just to pop in another Jolting Portent. Right, these are mainly all over to heals and an Inspiring Recover. And an Inspiring Recovery will get somebody back up if they go down. The heals, they're just a lot of healing and gets rid of a lot of conditions. So probably best if I keep hold of those. I've been using... They're one of the main reasons why I've been struggling. The main reason that I've been stopping it, so I'm out of heals. I gotta stop. Right, Flame Strike. True Seeing could be useful. Constricting coils. I've not really used a constricting coils. Raise dead is only really good when out of combat. It's a bit too stunning. The breath of life again brings somebody back from the dead. There's really not much here. You must target. You must succeed on a target melee touch attack to touch the target. Tristan doesn't really get into those situations. So that could be interesting if it works. Probably just going to take another flame strike. Right, we got a control firebolt. We do have these freedom of movements. They're really useful. Restoration can go. Probably going to take another death ward. I'm pretty sure death ward might be a factor in this. Remove blindness might be useful. Delay poison's not particularly so. Resist energy communal might actually become unhealthy. Remove curse. See, a lot of these are very circumstantial. I don't feel that I need the dispel magic. Might need another resist energy just in case it does a thing where it switches halfway through. Remove paralysis. Could have been a thing, but I don't really use it. I can't put Scorching Ray into a normal slot, and that annoys me. That's one of the annoying little things. I mean, it's not too big of an issue. It only seems to really happen on level 2. But clerics get so many spells, and there's no clear indication that level 2 actually has a page 2. Other than, you know, it's like, oh, there's a spell that I can't find. I mean, it's only hold person, so it's not really a big deal at this level. It might have to be remove paralysis, because there's not much at this level that's worth taking. Yeah. And the ones that are worth taking, I can't take for the general spells. Let's just leave it on remove paralysis. Right, these banes are useless. I never use them. Remove fear, I very rarely use. What's worth taking? I think it is just a bunch of blesses. Right, that's Tristan sorted. He just casts spells so many per day, as does... Oh no, Jubileos casts spells, but I think I went through him recently. You know, he's got legendary proportions, a true seeing, which might help, and a couple of heals. He's got all of the spell resistance. Maybe try popping them on people if spells become a major thing. He doesn't get many spells, so a lot of these have just been like, it'll do. The shields might be a useful thing. Right, Octavia. The polar ray is kind of worth it. Don't know why I bumped a bunch of them up to level 8. Or did I come across something that was immune to cold. Or did I actually switch them into the polar ray because I figured he was a giant ball of fire? A couple of legendary proportions, a firebrand, Joyful Raptor. Joyful Raptor could help. You know, the AoE ones are just too dangerous. Right. So let's get rid of Disintegrate. Disintegrate could be nice if you could ever get it to work. The Fortitude saving throw is just killer though, because it's like my caster level is 15. So this could be 30 d6 points of damage. But if you make the saving throw, it doesn't halve it, so down to 15 d6 or thereabouts. No, it just goes straight down to 5 d6. You know, everything else, you know, this, because it's half a damage, is from the plane of demonic, is it? Unholy power. As the other half results directly from unholy power and is therefore not subject to be reduced by fire resistance. You know, there's absolutely nothing there that stops it from damaging somebody. The elemental assess is kind of useful because it does an array of damage types. And lightning, chain lightning is always fun. I'm probably going to keep the Tarple just in case. It's a very nice wide area. I can set it down somewhere and hopefully take care of myself from there. Right, the fire snakes, I don't use them. The hungry pit, I'm not using that. Baleful polymorph, not using that. Although actually, yeah, let's keep the baleful polymorph. I gotta put one of these 3 in that slot, so there we go. Angelic aspect, summon large elemental, useless. Hold monster, useless. And I don't really have that many spells at this level, and you know, some of them like break enchantment that I could be tempted to take, or dismissal. They're double saucers. So it takes up to far too much, if in my humble opinion. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna meta magic a Scorching Ray up to level 5, was it? I'm gonna say level 5. Yeah, level 5, there we go. Scorching Ray is a fun one by me. Octavia, if she makes it to the point where the Lantern King becomes a giant ball of fire, she is going to be so useless, but at the same token, she's still got some, and also she's probably going to be dead by then. Several times over. Right, again on this one, I'm keeping a Dimension Door. It's gotten me out of the pickle once or twice, but I really do need that Scorching Rays. A couple of hastes, couple of see invisibility communal. A whole person's useless. Let's throw in a lightning bolt. They're always fun, good for a laugh. A lot of Scorching Rays. Couple of acid arrows just in case. Shield and magic missile. That should do, I think. Right, so what we do now is we save it yet again. I can do it with a rest. Yes, yes. Don't worry about time running out. Apparently it only takes 3 hours to rest. So I've got 18 days and 21 hours to do this. But yeah, I'm going to be trying this at least a couple of times. Probably not a whole bunch, you know, because it's one of them where it's like, I wouldn't mind doing this a couple of times and hopefully getting away with winning. But at the same token, it's just one of them where it's like, I'm not prepared to keep banging my head against a wall, making sure that I win this. Probably going to do it once, maybe twice. It depends on how close I get to the end of, or what I feel is the end. You know, I'm guessing the giant ball of flame is the final form. If I don't see that on this run, I'm probably likely to try it again. If I don't see it on the second run, I'm probably going to lower down the difficulty. Your footsteps echo from the ceiling of a ravaged throne room. The sound attracts the attention of old Remus, slouching on the steps of the throne. He looks up, shakes his head slightly, as if displeased, but keeps silent. Nothing betrays the mask of the deity in this haunched man.
Still hiding behind masks, eldest. Isn't it time you cast them away?
Words, words. How little value we attach to them, and how much they truly mean. But I've grown tired of words and prophecies. I will no longer predict chaos and death. Instead, I will show them to you, myself.
That's why it's twisted. It's slightly annoying me. Let's not go into the final fight annoyed.
Oh yes, the time has come! The time of fate and curses!
Right, I think we need to spread out a little bit. Let's start off with a little bit of flame. Reduced to nothing. Great stuff. Why was it reduced to nothing? Yay, things don't make sense. Already. Let's make some people explode. I said explode. Right, let's pop out a bless. One of the things I'm trying to do is the Lantern King has an ability that really just messes me up, which is the end of time. All things come to an end. What's it called? End of all. No, everything ends? One of these basically ends all current spells. So I'm trying to get enough of them on there as to get them to trigger him to do a all things end. And by doing so, hopefully he'll try acid on you. Oh, acid works. Okay, that's great to know. Right, turn and make one of them to explode. Right. Fire doesn't seem to be working too well. I think for the moment, let's just try and kill these guys. Very difficult to hit him, but we'll get there in just a moment. See, I don't like the fact that Narissa... There we go, everything ends. Okay. Now what we want to do... Hopefully he doesn't have too many of them. He didn't do that much the last time. In terms of when I started buffing afterwards, he didn't end things again. So I kind of want to get everything back into place. Because there's a lot of spells that I need to get into place, which is freedom of movement on Valerie. Hopefully that's not just knackered it up.
A clever ploy.
Shoot, there's nothing here. Alright, you're provoked. Right. Where's that freedom of movement? Freedom of movement valor. Right, Jubiliost. I want to save your bombs until later because they're really useful. Octavia, go over to Jubiliost. Mud him. Not bad. Right, I would like a freedom of movement on Chiron. Oh, god dang it. Jubiliost, you're gonna throw a heal, which you do have. Is it worth it? You're serious, Anna. Right. Rengongar, burn one of those, and let's have one of these against the Lantern King. We do need to consider getting us some death wards up.
This will hurt.
Right, and oh wait, yeah, we've got a freedom of movement. We'll put in that on Chiron. Do we have time for another spell? No, we don't, so we're just gonna wait there. Right. But where is it? We're gonna legendary proportions Jubiliost, because it's always funny having a giant gnome. God dang it! Right, so trying to buff at this stage is suicide.
Let's try this way.
Jubiliost, murder him. Somebody, for the love of God, hit him. No? Octavia, you've got that. No, that's useless.
You don't seem to like my curses. Maybe you like my jokes better? Time for fun.
Right, who just got dominated? Oh, me, of course. That's That's why Narissa just shot me with an array of annihilation, because that's a great idea, Narissa. Shoot the ally in the back, just because he's got a bit dominated. I really don't like the AI in this game. If you can't tell. I need to do that because people are looking messed up. Apparently, because I'm dominated, Tristan doesn't think that Chiron is an ally. Great stuff. Right, let's have a force bomb, which just ends up being funny because it hits all of the gnomes. Yep, gee, thanks Narissa. Julius, throw some bombs. Right, Octavia, do you have the communal sea invisibility? You do. Murder that guy. Alright, don't. Use one of them. Didn't quite work as well as I'd hoped. What's that? Oh, Frightful Aspect. It's another one of them where it's like, it's a spell that I gotta choose because it's worthwhile but not particularly useful. Let's have a haste. let's have... You blind? Oh, you are blind. Great stuff. Shoot. Heal me.
I'll fight if I have to.
Did that kill anybody? No, it just hurt. Oh, I'm dominated again. Am I? I'm so confused as to what's gone on now. I think I have. I think I've been dominated again. Should counteract your blindness for the moment.
You can't stop me.
Yeah, I can't be too annoyed at the whole dominate because it's like it's a legitimate strategy. I just really don't like the whole end of all things where it's like, ah, you buffed, bye, everything's gone, counts for nothing. Oh, I've done it once and now you've started buffing? Yeah, now I'm going to counter it again. Yay! Ringengar's dead. Ah, shit.
This spell has other uses.
It can be difficult to face tough dominatrix. It really didn't help that Narissa decided to just blow me up instead of, I don't know, attacking the enemy. I appreciate that to a certain degree, yes, she treats me as the enemy now that I've been dominated. But at the same token, it's one of them where it's like, you would never expect somebody at the table to be so like, yeah, okay, my ally has been dominated, I'm going to disintegrate him. Can't bleed and target that. No, I'm there. Meanwhile, Narissa just stands there and does nothing. Oh, I'm no longer dominated. Cool. I wonder what this does. Not entirely sure. Jublios, throw more bombs at that guy. Alright, one bomb at that guy.
The time for laughter has passed. It's the hour of hunting. Chaos.
It just balked.
I can't keep this up much longer.
Right. We're down to 1 freedom of movement. And we need that on Valerie. Jublios, do you have another heal in the back? You do. We need that on Valerie. Surprising you're not. See if that helps. Right. There goes Octavia. Return away to escape dominatrix. I don't think so. I don't know. Whose turn is it? Why? Oh, God damn it. That's a bit annoying. Basically, every time it bugs out like that, the only way that you can restart it is by ending turn-based combat and turning it back on again. The only problem with that is every time it goes into turn-based combat, it decides to go back to round 1 and redo initiatives. Right, Tristan. Everybody's looking okay. Do we have... I'm pretty sure I've got some. Did I have some? Did I remove all the removed paralysis? The thing is, with it not being a freedom of movement, I think I'm going to have to bring back a freedom of movement. Because remove paralysis, even if I had it, would only be good for the 1 round. Right, Jublios, move over there, throw some bombs at that guy.
Dawnflower, grant me strength.
I require healing.
Didn't he literally just have a turn? Oh look. Tristan's dead. We're screwed. I got up to this stage last time where it's like, yeah, it just summons everybody who can just murder me. And then it gets stuck again. Load last save. Spellbook. Yep. Where's Greater Restoration in here? Greater Restoration. Greater Restoration also dispels magical effects, penalizing the creature's abilities, cures all temporary ability damage, and restores all permanent damage drained from all ability scores. It also eliminates fatigue, exhaustion, and removes all forms of insanity, confusion, and similar mental effects. That doesn't tell me whether it includes Dominate. Need to have a Douse party for the Lantern King if there are any anti-magic area spells to stop them from summoning. Not as far as well. I don't recall seeing an anti-magic field. Restoration info. Restoration cures all temporary ability damage and restores all points permanently drained from a single ability score. It also eliminates any fatigue or exhaustion effects from suffered by the target. And then finally, Lesser Restoration removes any temporary magical effects reducing one of the subject's ability scores, or cures 1d4 points of temporary ability damage to one of the subject's ability scores. It also eliminates any fatigue suffered by the character. Does not restore permanent ability drain. Alright, so Restoration doesn't remove Dominate. Flip it, reverse it. Let's see if it tells us. I'm pretty sure I've got to Dominate somewhere. Did I ever Dominate? Oh, it might have been Lindsay with the Dominate. Google will be my friend. Pathfinder Kingmaker. What removes Dominate person? Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't list it there. Insanity Dominate is becoming more common. See, the internet says heal. A little bit. But here it doesn't say anything about Dominate. It does mention, however, a spell that I removed, I think. For each such effect, you must make a caster level check, d20 plus the caster's level maximum of 15. So 15 plus 20 plus the DC against a DC of 11 plus the caster's level of the effect. Break enchantment only works on spells of 5th level or lower. Back to the internet. Caster level of the Pumpkin King. Nope, no idea. It's not telling me that. And dominate person. Okay, so it's at least a level 4 spell. Right. Back off we go to Dubry Watson. Wait, did both of them go in? No, they didn't. Break enchantment. Might be able to remove dominate. Hey, storyteller, we were just here, but we're gonna take another nap. No. Don't forget, time is running out. Yes, I know. We only have 18 hours to save the Earth. $18 and 18 hours. Yeah. But I was making a reference. Bonus points to anybody who got the reference. Right. Okay, two things. Don't care about that.
Oh yes, the time has come! The time of fate and curses!
Kinda didn't want you going first. Right, make with the murder. Move over there. Acid splash that guy. Miss, because you're Octavia. You always miss. Right. Ringongar. You're going to move to there. To there. Tristan, you are going to Death Ward Valerie. And you're also going to move up there. Jubiliost, have some bombs and throw them at all the enemies all at once. Narissa would much prefer if you concentrated, I don't know, on the Lantern King. Right. Rely on your ability not to get hit. And hopefully murder these people. Rely on Octavia's ability not to hit a damn thing. Right, Rengangar. We are going to... Ooh, this is a question and a half. Right, if I make him flat-footed... Denied the dex bonus. Which is... plus 8 to the attack. Or use the other thing, which gives me a plus 7 to the attack. No. And this resolves against... Will you go away? Thank you. And this resolves against touch, which is not great because it's still a 42. So, use that one, use a spell, and murder the guy. Not quite the murder we were all hoping for. Right, everything has ended. Regret life choices. Right. And again, that one, and then let's have some frigid touch against a light. What's he called? Lantern King. Right.
Clever ploy.
Surprise! It was a sneak attack. I would like you to move a little bit further up and then murder that guy in the back. Or don't. Oh, that's nasty. Right, murder. Now concentrate on more murder. You've got a reasonable movement speed, and let's have the first of the burst deals.
Do not falter.
Primitives.
I did pack some hastes. So like, where's my hastes? Right, and then we click this button again, and then we're gonna go with, let's just go with a shocking grasp, eh? Just remember, shocking grasp is useless against this guy. Let's remember, nobody can hit this guy. Oh, really? Anybody at all? Just want to murder this guy?
You forced my hand.
Where's Nerissa got to?
Will they ever learn? Let's try this way.
Oh, we're all sickened. Great stuff. Oh, there we go. Okay.
You don't seem to like my curses. Maybe you'll let my jokes measure?
I shall end this suffering.
Right. Next thing that I want to check is this guy is this guy, this is this guy. He no longer has remove everything. So now is the moment that we get all of the abilities cast. Where did the Lantern King go? I think that's a real Lantern King. Who's dominated? Oh, I'm dominated. Great stuff. Right, well, first things first, we'll check to see if Break Enchantment works. Dispels haste on Valerie. Fails to dispel Shaken Second. Dispelled haste on Octavia. Dispelled haste on himself. Dispelled haste on Jubileost. Did nothing for me. Ah, yes, that's it. All allies within a burst of 30 feet, and I'm not considered my own freaking ally at the moment because I'm dominated.
This is for you.
Of course, now I get to roll well. And murder Tristan.
Calm down. Not dead yet.
Surprise, I still see you. She got shanked, but she did what she needed to do. If we have a moment, we'll get back in the fight, because there's still stuff I need you to do. Why are you so slow? You're blinded for a start. And Tristan's stunned. I know, Tristan's got Hold Monster on him. Great stuff, great stuff. So everybody with all of the heal. Oh, you don't have it, do you? True seeing. That's what I need. And true seeing allows me to see which one of these mirror images is a real one, rather than trying to wear them all away.
I'm wounded.
Yeah, well, the only healer is currently, Oh look, I've been dominated. Again.
Stay behind me.
If you could stop that, would be much appreciated. Where the smeg is Narissa? Right, everybody's looking a little bit messed up.
The time for laughter is past. It's the hour of hunting. Chaos.
Right, if I just get ganked at this stage again. It always breaks. Yeah, that's broken. I'm still dominated, and now I'm paralyzed, as is Valerie, that's her name. Why are you giving me a her turn? She's paralyzed. The only person who can remove the paralysis is Tristan. Let's have a freedom of movement on Valerie. You son of a bitch game. See, I think that's one of the other frustrating things about this game is like the bugs. And just little things like casting a spell and having it land on somebody in the same round. It just infrequently breaks, but it's frequent enough that it's a problem, especially when it's like, I need Valerie to start being able to move again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to me, 7 to Valerie. This is another thing that's like it's busted at the moment, so I'm having to click on this. To click on this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it's kept the order roughly the same. Oh, Tristan, you're our only hope. Will you, for the love of God, cast that spell on Valerie? Why does it look like she's fallen down? Why have you fallen down? Jubiliost. Frack. Heal Valerie. Can they just get rid of Valerie's freedom of movement?
I require healing.
That's Tristan down. We're screwed all over again. Come on. No. Julius, your only hope. Survive long enough to blow up everything!
All my knowledge, all my genius.
Well, he didn't.
Lost.
Once more with feeling, and then I'm turning down the difficulty if I can't at least make some progress. Because that's 3 times I've gotten up to exactly the same point, and it's been all like, aha! Everybody's paralyzed! Everybody's dead! Also, Nerissa needs to learn to teleport to somewhere of useful, and maybe not shoot her allies in the back.
Enemy approaching.
Nope, she's gone to the back again. Right, okay. You'll be murdering these guys. You'll be murdering that guy. Right, that may suck a lot, but really, where has Nerissa got herself off to? Oh, there she is. I do wish you wouldn't attack me, because it's not very polite. And I'm just going to kill you anyway.
A clever ploy.
See what your entrails look like.
Oh, Nerissa actually rejoined the battle.
I'll cut you.
Cut down.
Let us strike as one.
Bum, bum, bum. Turn that back on. Click on that. Double check that the weapon's going and murder that guy.
Repent.
Was it only the one end of everything he had? No, he has multiples. He can do that as many times as he wants, but he can only do it in this form, as far as I can make out.
Primitives.
So what I need to do... Oh, hi Josh, by the way. I feel... is get him out of this form. And then when he goes over to the next form,
You forced my hand.
do the whole running around and getting all the buffs sorted.
A calculated risk.
The only problem is
Do not falter.
the next form is slightly violent and hurts a lot. So if you're not careful, you end up dying a lot because you're trying so hard to sort out buffs rather than sort out the bad guy.
This will hurt.
Also in his next form he has a dominate, which if you don't manage to avoid, he can basically dominate, I don't know, me, and then Narissa can annihilate me in the back. That happened the first time. But yeah, there we go, another everything
Try
ends.
to make this swift.
Provoked.
Apparently I'm second for 29 rounds.
You don't seem to like my curses. Maybe you like my jokes better?
So it's this one where I feel I can start doing all of the buffs. Oh, I actually succeeded. I'm not dominated this time. But the people who need to do buffs, which is Tristan and... Oh no, they're just second. Right, Valerie, go back there. You're about to get buffed. Maybe? Okay, you are getting buffed. Yeah. If we go down to his abilities now, it's greater invisibility, mirror image, dominate monster, and a bunch of other ones. So hopefully now I should be able to buff up Don't hit that, Lantern King. Don't hit whoever you also just hit. None of that guy. Oh no, don't. There we go. Right, Tristan, let's have a freedom of movement on Valerie. Why? Oh, I swear down I hate this bug.
A fine use of my talents.
Right, legendary proportions on me.
down. Not dead yet.
Die for me.
Oh, that one's still there.
I'm wounded.
You're slightly more than wounded. Oh, god damn it! Yeah, couldn't have actually hit me apart from that natural 20 which killed me. Yes, use a ray of annihilation with the guy with no hit points left. Okay, he's invisible and all kinds of jiggery pokery. Let's have a communal see invisibility. Oh, I can also use the haste now, but I don't want to with him. Right, whatever you do, stay lying on the ground. And hopefully they'll ignore you. Dominate, succeeded. Yes, okay, great stuff. Right, move in there and murder. Octavia, use that. Make him big again. Make him big. Make Chiron bigger. Or don't. Just stand there and do nothing. I'm gonna use a haste on you because Octavia's busy and is being useless right now. Can see invisibility, but still cannot. Oh, now that one works. I will never understand how this game is supposed to function. Surprise! Don't need to be able to see you to throw bombs at you. I don't really want you moving very far away from Octavia. What's up with Octavia? Oh, she's got a whole monster. Okay. It's surprise, can still find you. Tristan. Freedom of movement, Octavia. Should get rid of your hold monster. Kind of. Knight of the Langton King. Oh, good shot. Right, okay, now that you're no longer a held person, make me bigger. Right, and go in for the killing blow. Or miss. One of the two. It's up to you. Right, Ringongar, you're out of temp hit points, so let's use one of these against this guy. I should really... Why can't you move? Why are you not moving? Why did you not move? Who else is blind? Okay. Jubilios, throw bombs in that random direction. Look, you can keep moving around all you want. I don't care. Still gonna murder you. What the hell is that? Oh, what a surprise. Octavia misses. Pop a heal, why not? How many fractions of hit points do you have left?
This is for you.
Apparently more than that. And apparently you being invisible does not mean that you can sneak attack. Wrong button. You're going to be hurting in the next one. Right, now that I've got most of my buffs on me, hopefully I should be able to do something about this fight. Right. It always goes wrong when a bunch of things get summoned in.
Stay behind me.
Has everybody still got haste on? No, haste is no longer on. So, Octavia, let's have a haste. I don't think haste is working right now. If you could not, that'd be great. How many are you down? You're down a fair few. Not quite that many, but I need you in tip-top shape. Right, Jublios, you're just going to throw bombs in random directions and hopefully hit something. Close enough. Do wish you wouldn't do that. Because it seems to break the game. Why did it blink over there? You got enough shots there, Lantern King? Alright, Octavia.
Calm down. Not dead yet.
Oh no, now you are. And it's broke again. Just murder that guy. Josh, because this is the third time so far I'm trying to do this, and I've gotten up to this stage. If I lose again at this stage because of all of the stuff that is going on, I'm just going to drop down the difficulty. I don't really want to. You know, I've come most of the way through the game trying to avoid dropping down the difficulty, but it's one of them where it's like I'm just getting super frustrated at it because it's like I can't get past this stage because everything I try to do just goes against me. You know, I don't even know what's... He's paralyzed. He can't be paralyzed. Or he shouldn't be able to be paralyzed. Continuous freedom of movement spell. Which generally means immunity to paralyzed. Nope, you die just like everybody else, Rangangar. Attack roll is a 19. With the modifiers of 45, it hits Valerie's AC of 53 because she is also flat-footed. I've lost sight of him. Where's the bleeding Lantern King? I wasn't paying. Oh, there he is. I got one attack against him. Bye, Jubiliost. I'd say we knew you well, but we didn't really. Here goes Tristan. So we got Octavia and Valerie to save the world. And Octavia is out of it on something. Oh no, Octavia is now dead. And it broke again. So now there's just Valerie. You can do it! Just keep dodging. I'm making use of that AC 20. Or AC 40 odd or whatever you've got. AC 62. Make use of it and kill the Lantern King. Or don't. It's your funeral. Come on. I'd say she can hold her own, but when it comes around to the Lantern King's turn and his plus whatever to hit, I've lost sight of him again. I've lost control of Valerie as well. Why have I lost control of Valerie now? Oh, confused. Great stuff, great stuff. So the game is literally just playing with itself right now.
I can't keep this up much longer.
It's alright, won't be lasting much longer. Just one more solid hit on you. Not entirely sure how you're actually still standing, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. Oh no, you died. Let's go. Let's save. Click to edit. In-game before turning down difficulty. Save. Right, I'm just actually now curious. So, difficulty. And we click on story. And we click on save. And let's see how... No, cancel that. Let's see how this goes. If I die on this difficulty level, I probably will just have to quit the game, throw up my arms in disgust and be like, nope, it's not reasonable. You know... I know, to a certain degree, that it's like it's the end of the game. So it's expected to be a little bit more difficult. But when it's gone through pretty much the entirety of the game of sort of like, yeah, there's been tough moments, and there's been moments where I've been frustrated in the past. But usually it's been sort of like a session where I've been frustrated, and then I've come back and it's like, okay, now this is how I'm going to get around this aspect of it. Which for the most part has been so like, okay, there, you know, there's the island in the middle of a lake, I forget what the island's called, where it's like there is just hundreds of will-o'-the-wisps dealing a lot of lightning damage. partly from Josh's advice, partly from I think maybe somebody else popped in of a chat at that time, was just like, you know, just get communal protection scrolls. So I left, I went to town, I bought a bunch of scrolls, I came back to the island, cast these, and it was a walk in the park. The same is applied for just about every other encounter, where it's like there's some trick that you just need to sit down and figure out how to get around. For example, this one, it was so like I come in and I do my usual thing, I buff, I come in, and lo and behold, you get the end of all things, and all the buffs go away. So that makes it so like, okay, well, that's not great. I went away, I thought about it. One of the things was like, does he have multiples? And also, you know, in this session alone, it was like, okay, even though he's not got multiples, or even though he's got multiples, that's only in his first form. When he goes into his second form, he no longer has that ability. At that point, you go away and you sort of like try to buff up as much as possible, which I did do. The first time was testing for multiples. The second time, when I went in and realised, yes, I can buff now, I started buffing but killed him too quickly, and by the point that before he was dead, I'd not gotten half the buffs out that I needed. Also, what had happened in that run through was he, in the second form, he didn't dominate. While he dominated me, and Narissa shot me back in the back twice with the Ray of Disintegration or Finger of Death or whatever spell it is that just deals a lot of damage. She did that twice in my back, I died. So then it was wasting time with Tristan trying to bring me back to life, only to get dominated again, shank Tristan for being close to me, and everything spiraled out of control. You know, I did manage to kill him, but half a party was dead. And yet again, I got into the third round, half prepared, and everybody died. That third time that you've just seen, it's all like, okay, can't buff here, take my time killing him in the second one, make sure everybody's all nicely buffed up. Luckily, he was targeting Ringungar for the dominates, and they were not working too well against him. Managed to get into the third round with the party looking reasonably healthy, and yet again, it's just straight up, nope, ganked. Because it's that third part where it's like, I don't know how to get around it, because I've got into that part 4 times now, and it is just a case of there is far too much going on, there is far too many negative effects, everything is regenerating, and what abilities do you have? Nothing. And I do wish Narissa would stop going to the back there, because it's actually rather useless for her being back there.
You forced my hand.
So the host.
Primitives.
Let's make with the murder.
Should do it. try to make this swift.
Yeah, I've saved it outside of this. Because I'm kind of curious as to like, is there some sort of like secret thing that you're supposed to do? Yeah, it's like in my backpack, I've still got this, the Briar. I'm pretty sure I was supposed to have given that over to Narissa. But it doesn't seem to have done any. I've tried it once or twice, I think, in this fight, and it's done nothing for me. Still not making this so like excessively easy.
You don't seem to like my curses. Maybe you like my jokes better? Time for fun.
I want you to go all the way back now. Okay. See again, it's getting out with dominates. Why did I just skip that turn? Shoot that guy.
Fine use of my talents.
Right. Make you big. Freedom of movement. Alright, I need you to run back between those two. Yeah, hurting a lot less, I'll give them that. I can't remember which one's the real Lantern King. Oh, it's that one there. Right, make you big. He died. I think. Right, Tristan, freedom of movement on Valerie.
Do not falter.
If we could murder the Lantern King anytime soon, that'd be great. Probably gonna have to break out the trucing to get past all this there. Trucing on Karen. And step back a little bit. What's up with Octavia? Oh, stunned. Right, and I didn't do this on Octavia, so I'll do it now. Freedom of movement. Or break again.
This is for you.
Ba 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 ba. Come out of all the little ones first.
This will hurt.
I'll try to at least. Trucing on. Oh, God. Move up to there. Oh, Jubilios is now dominated. Great stuff. Oh, Narissa, don't kill our allies.
What your entrails look like.
Stay behind me.
Whatever the rest of you are doing, protect me!
Jubilios, heal yourself. Do you still have that? Yes, you do. Trucing on Ringungar. He needs to be able to see again.
Let us strike as one.
Really could do with
Try this way.
killing this guy. Surprise, I can see you now, I can murder you.
I'll fight if I have to.
Oops, didn't mean to press that button there, but oh well. Surprise!
The time for laughter has passed. It's the hour of hunting.
Right, let's see if we can get past this one on the easiest difficulty. After it finishes breaking.
Do not falter.
Surprise! Nope, okay. Apparently true seeing does not override blindness. Julius, go throw a heal into your Lord and Saviour, me. Right, spells. I snafu'd this one up earlier. And it's snafu'd up again. Ringungar. Let's have some fireballs, shall we?
Onwards!
Okay, it seems near impossible to kill these people yet again. So... Right, Julius, use that heal on me. And then throw some bombs on this guy. No? Okay. Use that freedom of movement on Octavia. And... Can you channel help? No. Ringungar! You know what time it is. It's time for another fireball.
Die for me.
What sometimes do you think I should aim for to get the saving throws to? I feel I might concentrate on some feats to raise the saves of my characters. I don't think my clerics, once the guarded half that buffs them wisdom of is gonna cut it. So this is my characters as they stand. The will saving throw I feel is likely to be the most effective one that you're gonna need. That will cover you in terms of paralysis from hold person, confusion, dominate. They are the main three that get a party killed. You know, the reflex saving throw is mainly going to be against area effects damage. Falling into pits, the bad guys don't use pits. I think you mentioned previously you don't have the DLC for pits. I won't worry about it. The fortitude is probably the second most important because there's some save or die spells. So your slay living, disintegrate, and I'm trying to think of another one off the top of my head. I can't think of one off the top of my head. But you see here, Valerie's got a will save of 9. I've got 15. Ringungar's 17. Ringungar did a fairly good job when the dominates and confusions were cast against him. He was saving. So 17 is probably a baseline of what you want to be. I mean, I know that I'm 15, but one of the problems is, you know, being the main character in this story, kind of, I have a feeling that a lot of the AI is gunning for you. Again, to a certain degree, though, you know, getting these up and also using things like freedom of movement, which is going to remove the chance of paralysis, is going to nullify the effects of slow. They are going to help a lot. I don't actually know what can break the dominate. I did a quick search online where somebody said, oh yeah, it's break enchantment, and one of the things is I sort of like re-prepared Tristan's spells for, I think I might have done this and reloaded past it since, or oh no, it's a 5th level. So I removed a couple of spells and put break enchantments in there, but that's only working on allies. When you've been dominated, you no longer count as an ally. So, but yeah, Slay Living, you know, this is one where it's all like, you must succeed in melee touch attack to the target. They take 12d6 points of damage plus 1 point per caster level. If the target's fortitude failing of saving throw succeeds, it takes 3d6. And that's Slave of Living, which is a lesser version of the Disintegrate. I don't think. I mean, Octavia's got it. Does she have it? Ringungar's got Disintegrate, which is straight up, you know, if this gets cast, and again it's a fortitude, and it's up to 40d6. But if you save the throw, it's only 5d6. But no, I think to a certain degree you're wanting to get your DCs up to about 20, preferably. With will being the primary one. Fortitude is an important second, but I found it much easier with Tristan to sort of like, you know, if you get a Disintegrate cast on you, yeah, it's going to be 40d6. Yes, some of them are just going to outright die. But, you know, 40d6, I mean, that's a lot. 240 it tops out at. So only Valerie and Chiron here are going to be able to just basically walk that off. Ironically, they're also the ones with the highest fortitude saving throws, so it's not likely to work against them anyway. But yeah, definitely try to get your will saves into the 20s. You know, it's a little bit shocking that, you know, there's only one person with the wills in the 20s, and that's Tristan. Valerie here has a grand total of a will saving throw of a 9, which is just dire. Jubiliost. Remind them why they shouldn't grab her around. Tristan. How bad's that guy looking? Oh, we also have chain lightning. He's down over there. Just for the moment, actually going to ignore him for a little bit while I take some out of these guys out. Keeps flashing to somebody. No, I think I killed the guy in the rafters.
So it's come to this.
I would also say make sure, one of the things I will recommend is make sure that when you're entering sort of like this phase of the game, you have leveled up as much as possible. I feel one of the things that has held or is really sort of like starting to weigh on the fact that I came here far too soon is the fact that I'm not level 20. Why did I do that? How many am I down? I'm down. Well, if I put on 150, which would be 275, I'm missing 2 hit points if I do this. So let's just throw in this heal right now. Ta-da! I'm feeling a lot better. Right, go rescue Octavia from her own stupidity. We're seeing a lot of will saving throws just pop up there. Not entirely sure what that's about. So this is one of the things that I don't like about this. Is it's like will saving throw succeeded, fortitude saving throw succeeded. Against what exactly? Don't know. Because it's just a longbow attack. Nothing in there that I can see that tells me what I'm saving against. Step away and boom. Wouldn't be Octavia if it wasn't a miss on a really low. Use one of these and just murder this guy. Really did just murder him.
A calculated risk.
Come on, somebody just hit them. There we go. Let's see the next form of a Lantern King. Ah! As soon as the horned body's as soon as the horned hunter's body disappears in the fire, the destroyed throne room is flooded with light. The Lantern King, in his true blazing form, appears in the middle of the room. His furious mask is ringed by fire. The games have ended. Time freezes like resin, trapping you and the eldest in amber light, and this light grows brighter. The rays pass through you, pierce you, ruthlessly bearing your most intimate secrets, fears, and desires. Something inside you resonates with the light of the eldest, your curse. It is like the splintering of an arrow that remains in the wound, the slow weapon crawling towards your heart. As soon as the rays touch it, and it begins to heat up and then burns with intolerable pain. The Lantern King...
Time for masks is over. You risk challenging an eldest, and I accept the challenge. You will fight not a mere embodiment, but my true essence. This is my essence. I don't need magic or servile monsters to destroy you. Words are enough. Yes, words. I once told you, words spoken in the right time and place possess the power of the storm. You lightheartedly answer that you know what your power and essence are. Duty, the desire to make the world a better place. I remember your answer. The world remembers it too. Your answer, your heart, your essence. Now, cursed king, I'm taking this part of your soul, as I took away Nerissa's ability to love. What you called your essence is yours no more.
The words of the eldest fly towards you like an arrow, ready to give new force to the curse that already torments you. But you have but an instant to reply. A will saving throw? A bluff? Or just a like, my loyalty and duty to the good of my people is stronger than you, eldest. You cannot take it away. And why do you imagine I told you the truth back then? Eldest of mischief and lies, perhaps you were the one who was fooled. One who was fooled so easily has no power over words. Your words are nothing more than wind. Let them fly away. So yeah, this is another good reason, Josh, if you're still paying attention, is you need to hit a will saving throw 38 to be able to issue this line. Even Tristan with his 21 will still need to hit a 17 for this line to work. This bluff needs a 10 to work. This line doesn't require anything, but I feel that it's a one that will work out worst for me. I'm tempted to say it though because it's very me. Let's try this will save. Your words are nothing more than wind. Let them fly away. The Lantern King laughs. This laughter, soft, insinuating, almost amiable, is scarier than any nightmare. It resonates with the hot metal splinter, the curse within your soul, making it stronger, slashing at your essence, and taking away something essential that nourishes your power.
Let us continue. We both wear the crown. But what do you want? A meager patch of land, a few thousand souls? My dominion is chaos and magic. Madness and deceit. Your power is nothing compared to mine. And that is why you are helpless before me. You will take my every blow as a divine punishment, as something imminent.
Yet again, you have little time to answer, and the answer is the only thing that can protect you from the eldest's next blow. Law Religion needs a 19. Knowledge Arcana. Ooh, needs a 5. I get my power from the endless loyalty of my subjects. Can you make a similar boast? I know enough about magic and sorcery, so don't try to threaten me. All you are is the most treacherous monster I have ever had chance to defeat. I get my power from my endless loyalty of my subjects. Can you make a similar boast? You feel strange, as if wrapped in an invisible veil that protects you from the eldest wraths. It is the source, and its source is yet your curse. It bound you to your kingdom, but through this bond can pass not only pain and death, but power as well.
I'm curious what you think of me, cursed king. Do you see me as a villain or a simple joker? In truth, well, you'll never be able to conceive of the truth. Being an eldest means being one of the many strings that hold the world in place. Being an eldest means being such a vast and self-sufficient value that one's equals become strangers and one's inferiors are entirely insignificant. I am an eldest. Laughter, guile, transformation, that's what I am. Being what I am, I will let you feel a modicum of my loneliness. I will take away your pillar of strength.
And everybody died. Having lost all support, you face the deity alone. Silence hangs heavy over the ruined throne room. I won't allow such evil to happen, and being what I am, I will retrieve what has been taken from me. You don't have the right to take anything from the eldest, but I have the right to retrieve what has been taken unfairly. Favoring good, I won't allow such evil to happen, and being what I am, I will retrieve what has been taken from me. The blinding light flashes away, frightening like any living creature. The blistering metal of the curse cools. It still hurts, but the pain is no longer unbearable. You stand before the eldest, as before a blazing living star, and he looks at you as if seeing you for the first time.
Good. You can play with words. Let us see if you can withstand the heat of my fire.
For a while, the Lantern King remains silent. You feel in this silence not angry bewilderment, but endless, boundless astonishment. I mean, there's only one thing left to do, and that is attack.
This will hurt.
Let's have a look at the abilities of a Lantern King. Energy resistance, fire and acid, immunities to critical hits, damage reduction is 10, no exceptions. I don't know his special abilities. He's got a lower AC here than he had in some of his other forms, but he's got a lot of hit points. I also feel that he's got a lot of abilities. Run away! I've been saving this one for you. I think I just cast that on myself. I did. Oh, Jesus Christ, on the skateboard. Right, Valerie, do me a favor and come down from the ceiling and attack this thing. Hey, Tristan, welcome back to the land of the living. Do yourself a favor and become an embodiment of fire. This might hurt.
Bleed for me.
Julius! Grenades! Right, let's try this one again. We're going to get the polar ray, and we're going to shoot the Lantern King. Hey! She actually hit. Few have had the chance to see a star die. Spots of cold, lifeless darkness covers the fiery form of the Lantern King, growing, devouring, and with a dull moan settling on the ground in a cloud of black and coal black dust. But a moment later, right where the eldest crown lay burning, another shining image is born. It grows, glowing, turning into a familiar silhouette, wearing a crown.
What a refreshing feeling. I don't remember sensing it for dozens of millennia.
The Lantern King freezes, his light flickering strange, and his mask begins to change with incredible speed. One breath you are looking upon a horrible grimace of wrath. Another breath and it's replaced with playful astonishment. Another and it's a mask of fatherly care. Defeat? What a refreshing feeling. I don't remember sensing it for a dozen millennia.
But what's next? How will you end this story? Listen, I know good, elegant, and refined. The hero defeats a deity in battle. Impressive, it grants the victor power and immortality. The hero enters the chambers of the deity to become his champion and herald. Eternal, powerful, equally glorified both in the first world and in Galarian. His kingdom healed from its wounds and flourished under the rule of the immortal champion. A beautiful ending, isn't it? And this legend is yours for the asking.
Trust the laughing lie. Don't do this. Not after everything you and I have endured because of him. I can give you immortality and power, though not as much as the Lantern Kings. Perhaps we won't be able to stand against the eldest, but accept my gift and my patronage. And together we will make him pay for what he's done.
How sad it is to hear you, Nyrissa. Thousands of years for nothing! You haven't learned a single lesson. Never learned to atone. But what do you say?
Are you sure I can't kill you? I think I'll try. What will you ask in return for immortality, eldest? And what exactly do you offer as a reward? What about Nerissa? What will happen to her if I agree to your offer? What do you suggest, Nerissa? Eternal life and power, the patronage of the elder. I like this reward. I'll take Nerissa's offer, immortality and salvation for my kingdom, but with nothing to do with you, eldest. I will not bow to you, eldest, but don't get your hopes up. Here's my offer. Lift the curse, return my kingdom to Galarian, and forget we exist, and I will forget that you exist. What will have? What do you exactly offer as a reward?
That is easy. I will return your kingdom to Galarian and strengthen its connection to the First World. In their homeland, the Fae can endlessly return to life. I will give to you the same gift. So long as you remain an enclave of the First World, death within its borders will never threaten you. As for the prize, I'm not offering you the position of a servant. Believe it or not, I am lonely. Divine power and immortality are a heavy burden. To accept it means losing all your friends and companions, but you can find allies and reliable assistance. This is what I'm looking for. herald and a general with whom I can share eternity, and together we'll play 1,000 wonderful pranks and spread our power across the first world and further, much further.
What about Nerissa? What will happen to her if I agree to your offer?
What do you think? I can let my misguided protege go wherever she likes. Knowing her, I'm doubtful she will become a humble exile.
I won't. I've come too far to go back. It might take me 1,000 years and thousands of deaths, but I will find a way to get back at you, eldest. Even if he betrays our alliance and becomes your puppet.
What do you suggest, Nerissa?
I suggest we do not kneel. We are both cursed, you and I. But so what? The curse can harm you only as much as affliction touches your kingdom. But now, with the eldest wounded and bleeding, his henchmen all slain, I can return your state to the material plane. It will heal its wounds, and so will you. I'll create a bond between you and the First World, granting you immortality. Just as the Lantern King promises.
And what role in all this shall I play, trespasser?
The role of the vanquished. I know you will hardly accept a defeat, eldest. You may try to attack us again, but we defeated you once. And we will do it again if we must. I'm ready to fight you forever if I have to.
Are you sure I can't kill you? I think I'll try.
Did I tell you I don't like dying? Well, I don't. Perhaps we should stop this pointless exercise and speak seriously?
I was serious. I want to kill you. Why won't it let me kill him again? It's bother. So I have the choice of bowing to this guy and half my kingdom of... I think I'll go with the fourth option. I will not bow to you, eldest. Don't get your hopes up. Here is my offer. Lift the curse, return my kingdom to Galarian, and forget we exist. And I will forget that you exist. After you speak, silence falls deep as a chasm. Light pours from the eyes of a Lantern King's mask. Still the mask of a paternal care, though you do not mistake it for what lies hidden behind it.
So be it. This performance has run its course. It would be unwise to continue. Besides, I have no love of dying, returning to life. My fellow eldest are very good at playing especially intricate pranks at that exact moment. You were cursed by my will. By my will, you are now freed from the curse. May shackles be broken, fetters be loosened. What's been stolen will be returned. What's been divided will be made whole again. I say farewell, and release your kingdom to the material plane. Oh, be glad of your ordinary mortal life, and forget the gods of the First World. Now they no longer concern you.
Now that the eldest and other spiteful beings wouldn't be bothering us, the king returned to his subjects and celebrated the victory and the end of the kingdom's miseries with great fanfare. Everything gradually returned to normal, including our exciting lives. Not always peaceful, but also not troubled by invasions from another world. And little by little, our heroes and the common folk began to forget the sorrows of the past. Sometimes, on clear spring nights, the king saw dreams. In them, the nymph Nerissa, fierce and wounded, battled the Jabberwock, died, and returned to life, again, and again, and again. Under the wise leadership of the king, the stolen lands became a true country. There was still much to be done, of course, and some of it will need to be finished by our heroes' descendants. But there are no longer cut purses on every corner, and the peasants aren't afraid some new self-proclaimed chief will show up and strong-arm himself into power. The stolen lands are called the Land of Popular Rule, for in these lands, common people feel fully in control of their fates. Unfortunately, the total absence of authority allowed one of the richest regions in the kingdom to proclaim itself an independent republic, and retrieving those territories came at a rather high price for the king. Just half a year after the war with the First World, Galt moved its troops to the southern border of the kingdom. Their attack was rebuffed. The enemy state's infantry could do little against soldiers who were skilled with their swords and knew the military arts better than the alphabet. Since then, Galt hasn't risked crossing any borders again, fearing cruel retaliation for further insolence. The king's subjects praise his generosity, while citizens of neighboring lands groan from crippling taxes. Citizens of the stolen lands have it pretty good. Truth be told, the treasury isn't always capable of paying the royal bills, and the throne room's adornments are clearly decaying. But sometimes you have to buy the people's love, literally. The feud between Brevois North and South, which had been smoldering for ages, finally sparked the fires of civil war. Our troops lent aid to the forces of House Sertova, suffering terrible losses as they took the brunt of the damage from the Sword Lord's forces. The rebellion was soon crushed, and Jumanji Aldori was beheaded in Restov's central square. And for a long time, any hope of an independent Rostland died with her. The Tiger Lords never fully recovered from the damage Armont did to the tribe. Lacking a strong leader and torn by infighting, the barbarians sank into a short but fierce internal war. Their lands were quickly appropriated by neighboring tribes, and the Tiger Lords were scattered across Numeria and the River Kingdoms, little more than pitiful remnants of a once great tribe. Pitax almost returned to its former state, a joyful city filled with beers of dubious quality and deals of questionable legality. The old trade houses lost the crown, but they retrieved the property Iravetti had taken from them. Soon, Pitax became almost like a second capital in the kingdom, a thriving city through which rivers of money from across the region ran. Unfortunately, we get much less of this money than we would like. Governor Lyachenza turned out to be helpless against widespread embezzlement. Amid chaos and fighting, Headmistress Gitaren managed to preserve the Academy of the Arts, though not its reputation. Only sycophants willing to dash off odes to the highest bidder, primarily our king, stayed to work and study under her tutelage. One could say the Academy still flourishes, though in the same way a pond covered with duckweed turns green on a sleepy summer day, slowly becoming a swamp. No one dreams of studying at the Academy anymore, but for those more concerned with reality than dreams, it will always have a comfortable room. Trolls and kobolds, two of the most savage native peoples living in the Gnarl Marches, were completely exterminated in the region. The forest paths became much safer, and the peasants' cattle have stopped going missing. After enduring so many storms and troubles, Varnhold eventually turned into a real city. Daring settlers decided to conquer the vast, wild expanses of Dunsword, and despite all odds, they succeeded. The modest colony that almost vanished at the hands of an ancient lich turned everything around to become a thriving city with lively river trading. The Sootscale kobolds think themselves the masters of the area around the Old Sycamore, and they aren't very friendly toward travelers. It hasn't come to bloodshed yet, but many careless travelers have broken an arm or a leg in the kobolds' traps. When the king visits, The kobolds usually calm down a bit and even take down their traps, but it never lasts long. Oleg's trading post continues to thrive, attracting even more travelers. Much to its owner's displeasure, a small town is springing up around it. Despite Oleg's grumbling, he and his wife are well regarded by everyone, and Svetlana was even elected town chief. Jod and Keston, after surviving the bloom, remained loyal to the king they followed through thick and thin, and they continue to serve as court advisors to this day. The austere priest and the gloomy warrior regularly argue over the proper way to govern the state, as well as which of the two rulers should hear out first. Some things never change. Keston Gares took a post as chief of the kingdom's guard. The former heir to a noble family never returned to Brevoy, severing all ties to his kin. However, a few years after the victory over the First World, a girl arrived from Brevoy and soon married Keston. They say Keston started smiling a lot more after that. Jod remained loyal to the king to the end of his days, healing the sick and generously sharing his austere wisdom with anyone who wished to hear it, and some who didn't. Having fulfilled his duty to the ruler, Erastel's priest peacefully departed this world, surrounded by friends and disciples. Reinhardt became a loyal ally and trade partner of the kingdom, and Darwin himself had been seen as a frequent guest in the capital. The elegant monarch of the neighboring kingdom has broken many hearts at court. After his visits, many young guards and servants have been seen staring through windows, sighing wistfully about something. The lizard folk of the Longtail tribe returned to live on the shores of Candlemere, but they couldn't return to their ancient way of life. Living alongside people, the lizard folk adopted their behaviors, habits, and even religion. More and more of the Longtail tribe pray not to the spirits of their ancestors, but to Erastil or Gorum. They even began to forget their original language. I hope someone writes down their songs and legends before they all sink into oblivion. Evindra was glad to see the Lantern King's plans turn to dust. She spent some time helping restore the kingdom after the calamity, then returned home to the First World. They say the rebellious spirit of her cousin Nyrissa awoke within her as well. Evindra is said to recount our story to the Fae, encouraging them to question the power and might of the eldest. After the victory, the storyteller abandoned his affairs and began spending a lot of time alone in contemplation. He eventually bid farewell to the king and left his lands, but I suspect the inhabitants of Golarion haven't heard the last of this mysterious traveler, for his own story is hardly finished. We never saw Amiri again. Perhaps she got lost somewhere in the First World, or maybe she found some other way back. Who knows? I doubt that stubborn barbarian would just vanish without a trace. As for the Six Bears, they returned to the mountains, out to the farthest, wildest backwoods they could find, and lived there ruled by their primal laws. Harren became famous, respected by dwarves throughout our kingdom, as well as our neighbors, even as far as the Five Kings Mountains. He's often been asked to help out or teach others, and he's never denied anyone, despite his grumbling. Some people even listen to his preaching. Lucky for us, there's a lot less howling about the end of the world now, and more wise words of moderation and humility. Not all of his disciples turned to Grotus, but everyone took away something useful from his teachings. Octavia didn't stay still for very long. Soon, she and Reg went to Numeria and started a huge slave rebellion there. They didn't manage to destroy the Technic League, but to this day, slaves speak their names with admiration, and slavers with terror. Over the course of their journey, the two grew as close as ever, leaving their quarrels and resentments behind. After returning from Numeria, Octavia settled in her mother's house and became the king's advisor and loyal companion. Rigangar left for Numeria with Octavia to start a slave rebellion. Over the journey, he really matured and learned to understand others, as well as how to control his anger. After he returned, he took a position in the king's court. Being both formidable and charming, he inspired fear in the hearts of some and lust in others. There are even some rumors that he almost talked Octavia into marrying him, and possibly even continuing the Della Fiorni line. Once the war was over, Tristan kept his promise to Sarenrae. In the middle of celebrating the king's victory, the priest suddenly disappeared in a flash of light, vanishing forever. I hope Sarenrae didn't take the Movonic Deva's memory, so her servant might still remember us and the stolen lands. Or if she did, I hope he was at least able to forget everything about the lands in which he endured so much suffering. Jubilost returned to the life of a traveling explorer, frequently visiting his favorite kingdom. He said so himself. His famous work studying the First World all opened with a dedication to his longtime companion, the king. Sometimes, during Jubilost's performances, all kinds of chaos would break loose. Viewers turned into unicorns, or would be teleported to the top of a cliff. Later, Jubilost would be seen arguing fiercely with a pretty gnome named Nerd. The arguments looked very sweet and intimate. As for Knock Knock, apologies, I mean Jester Knock Knock, he continued to be a great source of entertainment for the kingdom, both in and out of the throne room, sometimes even on purpose. His antics in the kingdom had an additional effect. Aside from bringing joy and amusement to the citizens, it also softened the common view of goblins. They even became welcome in the streets of the city, for a time. While he may not have become the hero he envisioned, Knock Knock did find himself and his inner strengths thanks to the king. If you should ever find yourself in the kingdom, be sure to seek him out. He'll gladly regale you with some new tale of adventure, one that will surely make you smile, whether our foolhardy, clumsy, well-intentioned goblin means to or not. The king and Valerie stayed together, lovers and companions, bound not only by love, but by common duty. The amazing union underlies dozens of ballads and poems written by delighted subjects and echoed all throughout Aveston. There's more fiction than truth in those poems, of course. Our hero and his beloved keep their relationship well behind closed doors. The only thing kept in the chronicles in the truest detail is the grand royal wedding. Valerie became a worthy and honest ruler, like anyone doubted she would. And while their subjects can't wait for an heir, the beautiful royal couple seems to be in no hurry to continue their lineage. As for myself, the author of this book, Lindsay, who never chose a pretty nickname, I'm still here, inside my creation within the Capitol Library. I live just like I always dreamed, surrounded by people and books, and not a day goes by without someone turning my pages. My story inspired many others to take up the quill. My readers have written many fierce books, articles, and pamphlets, flinging truth in the faces of tyrants. What more could I dream of? I hope, oh honored reader, that this story offered you some daring ideas, or at least some entertainment. In any case, it's time to set the final period.
And there we have it. That was the end of Pathfinder Kingmaker. I enjoyed it. I do have to admit, that there were some very frustrating parts in the game. It's one of them where it's I have a feeling that I'd have a much better time with it if I was to replay it and potentially look up some guides. It's one of them where it's I don't like going into games knowing beforehand roughly what's going to be happening. I like the surprise. I like the real, raw, emotional, mental agility of not knowing what's coming. But at the same token, that has been there's been a couple of quirks in the game that I've just found very aggravating. You know, the way that the AI always seems to favor a target as the player character, for example. It's it doesn't matter whether you've got a tank, it doesn't matter whether you're hanging out at the back. If they catch sight of you, they will shoot you. And if you're not playing one of the stronger characters, I would fear to play this as a wizard. Unless I was basically pumping out all kinds of invisibility and, defensive spells. I do like the wrap-ups as well. Josh mentions nice wrap-ups. It does look like they'll be different depending on your choices. I do feel that a lot of those were actually very dependent on my choices. A lot of it did seem to be this is where things went differently. Anne-Marie, for example, she left us in the first world of the House at the Edge of Time. That's how her story went. Throughout the game, the only person I had any kind of love interest in was Valerie. That's the only one that seemed to suggest that there were a love interest. Tristan's story about returning to Sarenrae, that was on point. And so I do feel that, and a lot of the choices, because it wasn't just about your companions, it was also the choices that you made as part of your kingdom as well. So there's potentially a lot of variety there, and it's very nice that they've wrapped it up in a way. I always enjoy games and movies and TV series where it's there's a synopsis at the end of what happened to everybody and all the different little things that you could have gotten up to. It's one of them where it's it does really make you, from the video game standpoint, want to play it through again and see if you can get a different ending. I'd be curious to see, how different some of them can get, especially if you played it in a very similar way. Is there a few key questions. The only problem is, though, without going away and researching it and finding out, and looking at the ways that people have documented or data mined into it, it's okay, here's, with Tristan's, for example, it's that's the choices that I made. I did his companion quests. I felt like he was trying to be redeemed, and I helped him be redeemed, and I told him to go be the servant of Sarenrae that he should be, and that's how it ended. And there was possibly multiple choices and a lot of different choices in there that I could have made it different. Thank you. I'm making it all the way through the playthrough. Congratulations to you watching it as well. I can imagine that this has been no mean feat either. I mean, it's actually kind of nice that it's ended on a nice even number, which gives me a fairly decent calculation. The first 10 sessions were only 2 hours long. I remember that much. And every session after that has been for 3 hours, bringing us to a grand total of 230 hours. Now, I know that a lot of the times, or I say a lot of the time, there was some of the time where I wasn't actually playing the game. I was interacting with chat, I was talking off topic subjects, or just, putting the game on pause while I talked about the differences between a tabletop game and the video game and the different systems and some of the choices that the developers have made. It's actually interesting to know that this is how it's all ended. You mentioned gonna have to go check and see how possible it is to fully redeem Nerissa. One of the things that's sort of like a curiosity that I really do need to, I want to further delve into at a later point, is the fact that this narrative vastly differs from the narrative of the tabletop game. You know, the tabletop game ends with Nerissa, not the Lantern King. I can kind of, I'm guessing, but I have a feeling I know why they made some of the choices that they did, but I'm gonna have to try and maybe dig a little bit deeper into that, finish off reading the adventure path to see how it all goes. I have a feeling, to a certain degree, I would say potentially avoid doing the kingdom stuff. One of the things, you know, it's got some blessings in there. You know, you can get the events that happen throughout the kingdom can reward you if you go to different settlements and, you know, build the places up and get the trinkets from the 6, I believe there's 6, crafters and do their side quests. There's like 6 legendary artifacts that you can get hold of. There's all the little collection things. I feel if you wanted to go down that route, I heavily recommend that you take time to do research into how the kingdom behaves and what are the best choices to make. It doesn't really give you much in the way of guidance. I only intentionally ignored it because one of the things that the game starts with is a lot of hand-holding, a lot of sort of like, you should do this next, and you should do that next, and you should also potentially consider doing this. And it never gave any indication like that, or hints or suggestions for when it came to the kingdom aspects of it. It was like, you got it down. You can build stuff here if you want. Alright. And by not doing that, I feel that the statistics of my kingdom got down to the point where most of the things were nigh on impossible, which further hindered my kingdom, which further then meant that other events were going to be difficult, nigh on impossible. It wasn't until the late game where I was managing to turn it around a little bit. I would also like to say that when you get the opportunity to explore everywhere, explore everywhere. I feel that arriving at the end game, having done just about everything to make sure that you're as close to level 20 as possible, is certainly something that you're going to want to do. You know, one of the things that I didn't do is go into that endless dungeon. I knew that it was a DLC, so I didn't really want to get into that too deeply. But at the same token, I know that it was there. It could have helped buff up my levels. Pay attention to your companions. Make sure that you level them all up accordingly. Because if something doesn't quite go right, I mean, you know, I've been doing it on stream and just been accepting the choices that I have made. The phrasing is sometimes confusing, and I've clicked on a choice and it's like, oh, that's what I meant. There's only 1 or 2 times that I've ever gone, no, I really don't like the way that turned out and reloaded. I think I might have done it like twice this entire time. Again, you know, because of the way that I've played it, I played it very lawful neutral. There's been a lot of the companions that I have sent packing and on their way, because it's like, no, you really don't fit in my kingdom, so go be gone. That I do think has also hindered me a little bit. But at the same token, I'm very happy in the fact that I have stuck with playing it lawful good and not done the whole save scumming thing. I don't like the sort of like the perfect playthrough for the first time. You know, it's if you have a goal of achieving sort of like the perfect playthrough. I saw an article earlier where it's like, how do you get the best ending in the game? It's like, well, the ending that you get is how your story is played out. That's the best ending that you're going to... You know, that's how your characters ends. It's not the best ending, but it's your ending. And I'm assuming that there's some... I wouldn't say decision or popular way of saying this is the best ending. This is one playthrough. I've gotten 29 out of the 74 achievements. Some of the achievements are, you know, ones that I'm aware of, which it's all like, okay, yes, I know why I've missed that. Some are potentially very time consuming. You know, there's those precious tales. Gather all the storyteller's artifacts. If you're interested in doing them, I highly recommend looking up guides. I'm just trying to see here if there's any that I've missed that is sort of like I feel like I should have potentially got. But no, there's nothing there that it's like I'm not concerned that I've not got this playthrough. And there's somewhere it's like, yeah, that's not really going to happen unless you pay attention and try to do everything. There's also 11 further hidden achievements. I'm guessing that's something to do with the endings. I was just looking there to see if there was a way of seeing whether there'd been something that had been earmarked as the best ending. It doesn't seem to have anything there, but, you know, it's one of them things that I'm going to now that I've finished the game, I've not got any problems with going away and being sort of, I'll look up guides and find out, you know, where these things were and what happened if you did this. I don't think I've got any pressing questions. A lot of the time it's just like, oh yeah, where were all the pieces for this thing? Or for one of the things, but I think that's a lot of time researching and accumulating up lists and then sitting down and playing it again. It's been a lot of hours invested in this. I'm probably not likely to play this game again anytime soon. I will be at some point sitting down and playing Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous when it's released in full. The beta's out at the moment. I think I've got up to chapter 4 or 6 I saw the other day. Did something where I don't like playing in betas too much because it's like if I get the momentum and then reach the end, it's like, okay, put that game down for a while and I never get around to picking it back up again or something like that. Or there's something really annoying in the beta and it's like, I just hope this doesn't make it to the finished game. You find out that they tweaked it, but it's there in the finished game and that's just annoying. So, curious to see how it goes. I'll probably be playing it probably on stream. Probably not this year, if I'm being entirely honest with you. I need to get everything set up for Thursday's stream, which will be a brand new game. It's interesting that it's like during this week I've been starting to put things together, you know, but one of the interesting things was on Steam, the reviews, and as I was clicking through it, the reviews seem to be going down the longer the game is out, and There's some interesting reviews written on there. I won't go into spoilers. I'm not a massive, I'm going to be playing the game. I don't care what the reviews say because I like to form my own opinions on these things. I like the setting. I don't mind the system from what I've played of it previously. It's enjoyable. But at the same token, there are some of the complaints, and it's like, I can see kind of why that's valid, but I can also see why that maybe they had to limit it like that. But yes, come this Thursday, I will be playing Torment, Tides of Numenera. It's set in the system of Numenera. Based on the Cypher system, which I don't think I've gone into too much detail. I'll probably go into more detail when I'm actually playing the game as to sort of like how it interacts with the tabletop game. I don't think any of the games that I'm going to be playing anytime soon are actually going to make it to 80 sessions. This by far is one of the, this coming in at this, complete the game was something like 80 hours. And then for the completionist side, it was like 120 odd hours. The fact that I've drawn this out, it's mainly because I spend a lot of time chatting about everything else. And by reading out every comment and every passing phrase that somebody has to say, has certainly delayed things. You can read a lot faster in your head than reading out loud, and, like I say, I take time to pause and discuss other things. So hopefully it will be a bit of a quicker game, but at the same token, it will be done in the same vein of I will be starting with character creation and will be playing everything out on stream. And so, yeah, from here, it is time for me to bring the stream to a close. Which is kind of good timing. We are going to raid Retro Ted, who is playing Baldur's Gate. I nearly typed in Baldur's Gate into the little box. Baldur's Gate is kind of like one of the first games of the sort of like overhead styling, so it's one of them where it's like, that's what actually got me into this type of gaming way back when. So it's nice to see that it's still being played even to this day. I thank you all for watching. I hope you will join us on Thursday. And have fun, stay safe, and tidy bye.